In the Insert tab, you'll again see a lot of tabs which can help you in achieving your goal of giving a very presentable presentation. So like we'd seen that whenever we have to add a new slide, either we can click on new slide or we had the new slide option in the home tab. Similarly, we have the new slide tab in the insert button as well. So like I had mentioned at the beginning that there's going to be a lot of repetitions. You'll see a lot of repetition of the action steps that you can take in the multiple ribbons, in the multiple tabs. So in case you would want to add a new slide, you can simply click on new slide. You can do a shortcut of Control M and you can add a new slide. In case you would want to add a table, so maybe say insert a table, 5 rows and 2 columns, and you can add a table here as well. Now you can change the look of that table. You have a lot of options here. So maybe let me just add a table with a much more data. So in case you have to delete the table, then you have to, the 4 arrows that you can see here, you have to click on the boundary of the table and then only can you delete it. So I'm going to go to the Insert tab. I'm going to insert a table and let me just increase the number of rows. So here's my table. I'm going to stretch it a bit and I can change the color whichever way I would want. So there are a lot of options that they are there. At times you can thematically keep your presentation color coding as per the color coding of the logo of your company as well. Now that depends entirely on you, right? Then comes the options like first column. It is going to highlight that. Last column, banded columns. Then similarly, you have option like banded rows in case you would want to keep symmetry in the color. Total row, it is going to highlight the last row, which usually contains the total, and the header row. So it's not going to segregate the header row in case you uncheck that. Then comes your shading in case you would want to choose again the coloring from your color palette. You can add in more colors, you can add in more texture to your table. You can give it a very gradient effect, right? Then comes your borders. How would you want to have borders? Like we used to have in our Excel, you would want to keep complete clear borders. You would want to have only the right border. And it did not remove that. Okay, it does. I have selected, it's going to retain the inside lines. In case you don't want to have any border, it's going to remove in the border as well. Right? What all are the effects that you would want to add? So see, it's going to, I mean, let me just make it a bit small such that so you can see the impact here. Sorry, this should be effects. So see, this is how you'll see the tiles, more focused tiles, etc. Right? So this is the difference that you can see in case you would want to see. You can again hover on the shadow part. I mean, this is kind of consistent whether you work with shapes, tables, etc. So you can do n number of variations in the way you represent your files. Then comes your quick style. How do you want to text? So see, it's giving a reflection. I'm excited to begin. Or let's put in as shareholders, company name, shareholding, bought, sold, etc. So it's giving a, we can change the color here maybe. So see, it's giving a reflection kind of an effect, though it's not very pleasing to the eyes, but I am not sure if you're going to use it in your designing a logo or something like that. So you can do that, right? You can fill in the colors, you can fill in the texture, whichever way you would want things to be. Then in case you would want dashes here. So let's try and put the dashes. So you can see the changes that are happening, right? So this is kind of pixel-wise, pixels are being placed on your text in order to give you this thing, right? So it's not going to be one smooth line. You can use stars, like that is how a picture is built in phones as well. Pixels are connected, joined in order to give you a complete picture. So here these stars, dots, dashes actually represent the pixels here, right? Would you want to have a solid line, a little lesser? I mean, again, it's up to you how you're going to utilize all that information. And where was I? Here I am. So you have, you can use the glow part. You can use a shadow, right? You can, I mean, whichever way you would want to write your text in. Next comes your border. How would you want your border to be? So this is how you can create. This is your pen color. If this is how you would want your pen to be, so you're in middle of a session and you would want your pen. So click on insert button and you can use the pen, right? Um, you can also draw a table and you can call for an Excel spreadsheet as well, and you can enter your data manually here, right? It's your choice. Perfect. Then comes pictures. In case there is a picture that I would want to call forth from my desktop, I can click on the pictures part, this device, and I can pull the picture from my device in my PPT as well. Now, this is something that is very interesting that I would like to point out here, and which is like taking a screenshot. So click on screenshot, screen clipping, right? So here I am. This is the, say, screen that I would want to clip, right? And automatically this is here. Here I have the clip. I don't have to copy. I don't have to click on print screen. I don't have to adjust anything. I don't have to be there on any snipping tool, etc. I can directly take a snip from my this thing. Now it is giving me an option of remove background. So let's say remove background. Let me click here. What is the background that I would want to mark areas to remove? Let's say this is the area that I would want to remove. Keep changes. It has removed the entire this thing. I'll show this to you when we'll actually be working on an image actually, right? So this was about uh, the the snipping, the screenshot, right? And we'll come to this part when we are actually working on the picture format. Uh, Besides this, there is photo album in case I would want to pull in some pictures from my system. Then comes the shapes. We've already discussed about shapes in the home tab itself. Then comes your icon option. We've talked about icons as well in our previous home tab. You can work with a lot of icons which are already there in your Microsoft package. So you can pull in any of the icons while working on your uh, in your presentation. Then comes your 3D model. So in case there is any 3D model in your system, you can pull that directly. We'll check that in a while. In the interim, what we can do is we can click on Smart Art. I'll remove this, and let me put it here. This is smart art. In case I would want to show a process, maybe say, so let me, here is the process. I can add a text. So let's say we are in a pizza factory. We are preparing a pizza. So what do you need? Uh, pizza dough is prepared. Then after pizza dough, what do we do next? We put in a lot of cheese. Then maybe say a lot of veggies, right? That is how we can show the process flow. I can use any other smart chart as well, anything that I would want to work on. And in that also, there can be an option where the bubble, gradient, transparency, reflection, 3D effect. So lot of options that are available with us, right? I can even change the colors. So if you don't like the colors, you don't have to stick to blue, black and white or grays. There are a lot of colors. Throw in a dash of color there, right? You can do that. And yeah, uh, that was about the smart art. Then in case I'm in a presentation and no presentation goes without saying that I would need to present a chart as well. So when you click, the moment you will click on chart, you will get a lot of options that what kind of a chart do you want? Let me say I want a pie chart. So you have the pie chart and automatically it opens in Excel because it gives you an option that you can so automatically when you click on a pie chart, it gives you an Excel, which gives you option that you can ingest the data as well, right? So you can put in that first quarter sales has been this, etc. And this is the data that it has by default taken, right? Now, secondly, when we click on the chart styles, or maybe say, let's right click here, you have an option of format chart area. So you can even work that there should be no fill. Then you would want gradient fill. This is about the background because this says format chart area. Definitely I would want to change the color because this is way too bright. Let's have a soothing. Oops, it has added the gradiency. I'll remove these tabs. Let me change the color here. And this is just an example that I'm showing. How you're going to utilize this completely depends upon you, right? You can do a pattern fill, you can do automatic, you can do a picture or a texture fill, solid fill, or no fill, right? Then comes your borders. Would you want a gradient line or so maybe say path or rectangular? So, I mean, these are the things that you can really work upon. If you increase the transparency in gradient line, in solid line, let's just increase the transparency, right? So this is one option. Then comes how do we want to see the dash type? Maybe say, this is how I would want to see. So the pie chart is definitely this way. If I click on the pie chart and I again increase the transparency, so it has increased the transparency, 98%, right? Joint type is round. And these are the options that are there available with us, right? Along with that, you can see that there are a lot of options that I can see here. So I don't have to make any manual effort and I can see a lot of changes that I can make. There are numerous options that are coming. So you don't even have to go out of the way and ingest the numbers. These are already there here, right? So yes, this was about adding the charts. And in fact, let's just go back to charts only and see what all other options that we have. Let's try making it as a combo chart. I don't think combo chart would be possible here because the charts are also dependent upon the kind of data that is there. And since we've not ingested any data here right now, so we'll not get many options. Yes, so this was about the charts that we were talking about. Then comes get add-ins in case there is something that you would want to purchase from marketplace. Purchase would not necessarily mean that every time you will have to swipe your credit card, but in case there's a store, in case you would want to, I mean, you would want to add in something, you can like Power BI tiles in case you would want to add, or special symbols, or um, I mean, anything that you would want to ingest, you can simply pull it from add-ins as well. So right now there are no add-ins in my system, hence it is giving me an option of my add-ins. No add-ins are there, right? Next comes the option of Zoom. So let's just try this out and then I'll explain what it does. So when I'm I mean, I'm tabbing, I'm clicking on the icon, it is actually giving me a snippet of all the slides that are there in the presentation so far, keeping the first slide checked, right? What happens when we click on the section zoom? Right, so there were two sections that I had created. First one was welcome note and another one was process charts. So it has given me a snippet of the first slide of the two sections that I had created. And what about the third? So it is giving me an option of all the slides that are there and you would want to insert, right? In case there is any hyperlink that you would want to create, you can click, add it via here. So say we are in here and we would want to, uh, um, I mean, add a link here, or, reference as a reference purpose. We would want to add any link from our folders, from our recent files, etc. We just need to tab in the address here of our this thing, right? Then comes our, as we discussed, then comes our action tab. And after that, we'll keep discussing. So we were talking about action link. So let's go to the insert tab and insert a shape. Let's say play button here, right? Now this option opens up. Let's go to the mouse over, hyperlink to next slide, play sound, and let me put a drum roll here. Okay, nothing. I can see nothing here. Let's put it on slideshow. So slideshow, I've put it via F5, right? Can you hear that drum roll? Let me put it again. I'm on back. So what were the two commands that we had given? Next slide and drum roll. Let's hover on the play button. The moment I came to that button, it took me to the next slide. Let me just change this once. Maybe instead of mouse over, let's put it as none. Mouse over none and mouse click hyperlink, play sound, F5. I'll go to my right. So it's giving me the sound of a drum, right? So this was about the action button. Now, in case you would want to add a comment, So how can you add a comment in your PPT? Simply click on the comment tab, and it'll add a note that you would want to add about this presentation, right? You can write it here. This is my this is my training video for PowerPoint, right? So this is how I'm going to add a comment. This is just for my own reference that I would want to add. I've clicked on the cross button, so it has deleted it, right? Now, I would want to add a text box. I can add a text box as well. Oops, where did it go? So a text box is something where you can directly add in a text. Add in text, and you don't have to right click in order to add the text, right? Next comes your header and footer. Let's click on header and footer. It says date and time. Maybe say date and time, apply to all. So you can see I have the date here in my bottom corner, right? Similarly, you can also use the slide number here. So I have the slide number here. You can also apply footer. So the footer is also here, right? Accordingly, whatever your needs are. Then there are notes and handouts with the similar to the header and footer and other things that we had seen. Now, let's create a new slide and let's see what word art has to offer. So we can add our text here, which will, so previously what we'd seen was that we can write some text and we can add magic to that text. Here word art is giving us some inbuilt options like reflection, shadow, etc. In case you would want to change the color, you can do it already here. Some preset themes are already there, right? Basis the colors, etc. I'll close this window. Then in case you would want a shape outline, these things we've already covered. Shape effects, etc. Edit shape, change shape in case you would want to change the shape. Edit points. So now what you can do is you can make it basis the pointers. You can change the shape, right? So you don't have to do it. I mean, you can have multiple shapes as well, right? Now, you can have n number of options that you would want to have, right? So next is our text box. In case we would want to create another text box, we can do that. Then comes our date and time option. It will quickly add the date or time in your slide as we done under the header and footer part. Then comes your slide number. This also we covered in header and footer. Then comes the object in case there is something that you would want to pull from your desktop as an object here, you can directly do that, right? Now, in case there is some area of circle, some calculations that you would want to make, you can also do that. Like, so in case you would want to, denote that piece here, you can actually do that. So you would want some equation, signages, etc. You can put that as well. Or you would want a binomial theorem. It can also be added, etc. Then comes various other symbols. These symbols we'd already checked under the Home tab. You can also upload your own videos or online videos as part of the presentation. We'll look at as we go to the record tab. Similarly for audio and screen recording. We'll cover these three later in our sessions, but I hope that until equation and symbol, things are relatively clear, right? Other than that, we've covered majorly everything.